one.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Whiskey Capitalist. I actually have Ian sent me the script here. I'm actually supposed to be reading from this, but I just kind of went off the cuff right out the gate here. My bad, Ian, but here we go. Hey, what up all you crazy capitalists, you witty whiskey enthusiasts. Welcome to The Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. I'm Ian. Have Shawn introduce himself. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and comment below. Go to solo.to. I'm supposed to actually be bringing out all these overlays and banners and this and that. I am not good at doing all this stuff. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm good at doing all that while I'm also reading these things. Solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist for all of our links and ways to stay up to date with us, and go to bit.ly/thewhiskeycapitalist merch to check out all our fully stocked merch store, which honestly, it's fantastic. I have to say Ian did a great job when it came to putting together the entire merch store, because, you know, we got tapestries like this behind me. There's all kinds of different shirt designs. There's sports bras for the ladies. We got pint glasses, literally everything you can possibly think of. And don't adjust your screens. You are seeing this correctly. I am a stash guy right now, so I'm going real heavy with the mustache. I am going to keep the beard, so don't worry, the beard is going to grow back, but like the mustache is going to be far more prominent this time around, so all good things. Now, so for tonight, if you can't tell already from the description, I'm going to be talking about The Little Mermaid, which I think a lot of people have talked about already, but I don't know, I have to share my take, and basically what the Whiskey Capitalist's take is on the whole Little Mermaid live action thing, and then of course Disney in general as well, with like when it comes to this whole you know, like the role reversals. We'll just kind of call it that for right now, because I don't really like using the term like replacement or this and that, because like I don't really think that that's what's really going on here. It's not quite that, and I'm going to get into all that as well. But yeah, whatever else kind of pops up as well along the way with the conversation. But before I get too far into any of this, I want to make sure that we get our intro in as well. So let's go ahead. Actually, you know what? Before we even do that, we got comments coming up already by Trevor. It says, I feel like I'm an hour early, but you're right on time. You're absolutely right on time. You know, like when I set this thing up, I set it up for 9 o'clock, but, you know, like, Ian liked to come in here and he wanted to make sure that he had all the descriptions and hashtags and everything else in there. So when he did that, then we, you know, the time got switched to 10 p.m. by accident. Whoops. It's okay. We got it all figured out. So rules are different under the sea. I guess so. Yeah, I guess, you know, it's just it's Fight Club rules of anything. So, yeah, why don't we go ahead and let's start the show with the intro.
Who else in the level crowd say yeah?
Look at that big, juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale.
Be offended.
Do you love black people? Do you grow?
You know the thing.
Here, next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Shawn Cav.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt.
A man and a woman.
All right, so let's not waste too much time with this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first image that we got here, and I got to go one by one with these guys here. So we're going to pull this up, and we're going to share that. Okay, so basically this is where we're starting off with. We're going to start off with talking about the fact that you know, The Little Mermaid has been remade into a live action movie, and they have this black girl, which I forget what her name is actually. I should probably pull that up ahead of time. Let me see here. The Little Mermaid, Mermaid live action cast. And the answer is, Halle Bailey, of course. Yeah, I've heard the name so many times now. And it's like, yeah, so she is going to be playing as the Little Mermaid now. And, you know, everyone's kind of like all pissed off and kind of like up in arms about this whole thing. And, you know, there's arguments to be made for lots of different sides when it comes to this. Now, the big one is like, oh, well, she's not white. Like, mermaids are white. It's like, nah, mermaids are made up. Like, the mermaids aren't a real thing. Like, they're fictional. So you can make them whatever you want. And it's a Disney, like, cartoon. So does that really play a factor into the whole thing? She has red hair. Well, if we go to the next one, which I have here, let's see here. Let's go to, I'm sorry, this is going to probably be really slow with me having to do it this way, but I'm trying to figure out what's a better way to share my screen here and make it go faster. But I'll tell you what, when it comes down to it, it's the problem is StreamYard. StreamYard is kind of difficult to use when it comes to like trying to get all these. Let me switch to my there, make that a little bit bigger. So this is like the trailer image that's kind of going around all over the place, showing her. She's kind of got like reddish orange hair or whatever like that. She's not like, honestly, she's not like super dark. So it doesn't really even matter. Well, here's the problem with the whole thing and why it kind of does bother me a little bit that, you know, they didn't have like the white girl playing like the Little Mermaid. It's that like it's not about race, it's about authenticity and about like creating new art, essentially, where we have this issue where people just kind of take the same old stories that they have been for a long time now. Let me see if I can do this. They've been taking the same stories and they just keep rehashing them and rehashing them and rehashing them. And like, oh, let's make it live action. And honestly, I think all of us can speak honestly when we say all the live action Disney movies are complete garbage. I think the only one that kind of came close to being semi-decent was going to be was Aladdin. I think the Aladdin one was the only one that kind of came close to being decent. But I think that was mostly due to like Will Smith. I think that's pretty much it, you know. Like, so that's basically all there is for that. Now, we got more comments coming in. Trevor, oh, and Ian's coming in too. Flame, oh yeah. Thanks for that, buddy. Yeah, he must be a little tipsy right now on vacation, but it looks like looking at twins. Oh, you think those look like twins? Okay, well, you know, fair enough. Maybe not. I don't know. Red hair and all, right? No, so basically, what it comes down to for me with this is that, like, all right, so there's these other images or these videos that are going around of like young black girls first like, seeing the Little Mermaid as portrayed by Haley Bailey, and they're ecstatic, like they're super happy, and they're like, oh my God, she's black, or oh my God, she's brown, and you know. Only like a monster would really want to take that away from like the child, you know, but like at the same time, why isn't Disney trying to use all the money that they make to actually create these voided roles that don't exist in the Disney universe or Disney realm of storytelling with princesses and this and that? Or there's just no creativity left in like writing stories and whatnot. That can't be, because we end up with like stuff like Moana and Encanto and Red Panda and things like that, you know, like, and so like there's these shows that are like, you know, focused on like young girls and this and that, and these like multicultural kind of settings and this and that, but like, you know, they're I don't know, it's that for some reason they don't get the same kind of attention. You know, it's these classic stories of like Cinderella, Snow White, The Little Mermaid. What are some of the other ones? I'm sure there's more. I'm trying to think of all the different dresses. Of course, Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that. But I mean, Beauty and the Beast, they did do that one. I don't know. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's bestiality. What's going on in that movie? It's just absolutely insane. But not a fan of Dumbo. I see. Yeah. You know, I'm not really a big fan of Dumbo, but Dumbo, to be honest, you know, the crows in Dumbo are completely racist as well. So like that's just like a stereotype of like of black people back in like, what was that, the 40s or whatever that, whenever Dumbo was. I could probably pull that up. Let's see here. Original Dumbo movie release 1941. So there you go. All right. You see, you can't replace Robin Williams with Will Smith. You know, that's pretty much a fact right there. You can't do that. But like the thing is that I don't know. I think, you know, they tried. They gave it like their best when it came to that one. But all right, so I'm going to take down this one. Now, I brought up a bunch of other points with this one as well where I wanted to touch on. So the biggest issue everyone's kind of having with this right now is the fact that, like, you know, they made the Little Mermaid black. Essentially, that's what it all kind of boils down to. It's like, now, does anybody really care about the race? Not really when it's like this made up thing. No, but like, she was written as white. And actually, I think it's like based off of like a European like folk tale and stuff like that as well. So like, there's obviously these European connotations to the whole thing. Like Prince Eric is white and whatnot. I don't know. It's just, it wasn't common to see like a mixed race like couples either during that time either. So, we got Movies America back in here. And hey buddy, we missed you in the Twitter space. I had to bail on that kind of early. It was like Black Little Mermaid is all is cool as long as we can make Coming to America starring Ryan Gosling. That would be hilarious. All right, but here's the next one I really want to bring up here. So I gotta, oh man, it's what a procedure this is going to be, having to open up all these images and then share the screen. But I'm going to do it for you guys. I'm doing it for you. All right. So here we go. Let's open this bag of worms with the princess and the frog. Where, okay, so here we have a black princess. This is based in like Louisiana and this whole Cajun culture and whatnot. And it's primarily it's an entirely black, like, you know, list of, it's all animated, of course, but it's black characters. This movie gets no recognition, you know, during this entire thing. And, you know, like when they're just focused only on the fact that like, oh, you're taking a white character and you're making it black. And now everyone's like, oh, what? You're racist for thinking that that's a bad problem. What if, I'm just saying, what if the Princess and the Frog, we switch the races on that one? Now all of a sudden she is white. What was the case? What would that look like? I wonder. Well, we don't have to wonder because I found an image. I found one where somebody went and did the work for me, and this is essentially the same kind of idea that we're dealing with right now. Like, so this is what everyone's so upset about, you know, and it's like, all right, well, you know, if the Black Little Mermaid's okay, then the white Princess and the Frog should be fine, right? Tiana, I think her name is Tiara. I think her name is Tiara. This should be totally fine as well. Why wouldn't it be? You know, if race isn't a problem, if race isn't an issue with anybody, this shouldn't be a problem either. But for some reason, I think this is going to set people off. This is going to be the problem that everyone, you know, there would be riots in the streets and whatnot. Just like, you know, someone got cold fries from McDonald's and now they're rioting in the streets and they're going to burn down every McDonald's in the area. I think that's what we're dealing with when it comes down to this. Like, it's this irrational, like kind of like hatred and fear of just kind of like realizing their own hypocrisy when it comes down to this stuff, because this is all coming down to like the whole woke crowd, essentially. Like nobody on the right is going on saying like, oh, you can't do that, you can't have a black mermaid, you know. It's like, that's just stupid. It's uneducated. It's like, do you realize what you're arguing? You're arguing about a mermaid. Like it's not even a conversation needing to have. But here we go. Movies America with another comment. Let's see here. We got the white guilt creatives are trying to overcorrect by taking characters written as white and making them minorities because, you know, slavery 150 years ago. Well, you know, I can agree to that to some degree. You know, like there is some white guilt that goes along with it, but it's just disproportionate of representation where you have 12% of the population basically taking up, I would say, at least 60 to 70% of like the TV media time. Now, the thing is, does everything need to be like proportionate? No, but I mean, like, to me, it's like meritocracy. If like you're good at the role, you should get the role. Maybe this girl really was a fantastic, like, you know, Ariel. She just, you know, it's her skin tone that was the problem. Well, you know, like, again, like they could, this is probably going to be a spicy take too. What if they went and they photoshopped it to where they just kind of lightened her up a little bit more? She's already not dark. She's like, I would say almost like, is it wrong or is it racist to say mulatto anymore? I have no idea. Like it's a mix of like half black, half white. She's not like dark black. She's not like from like Wakanda or nothing like that. You know, it's like Wakanda forever. You know, like she's not doing anything like that. It's just like, you know, she's a light-skinned, you know, pretty black girl. I don't know. And like, you know, she could probably sing fantastic. I don't know. Like, I'm sure I'm probably making myself look even more stupid right now because she's probably a pop singer that I have no idea anything about, like her like career or nothing like that. But she just kind of like became really popular as of lately due to the fact that she became the Little Mermaid. And it's just so funny that I, you know, was thinking about doing this live stream was because over the weekend, I'm talking to my wife about this whole thing that I'm kind of like, I was formulating in my brain. And, you know, then my daughter's like, she wants to watch The Little Mermaid. I'm like, okay. So I go in, like, we have Apple TV. So I pull up I pull up the thing. I go like, all right, so pull up the Little Mermaid. And the first one that pops up is the new live action one. And then there's the cartoon one next to it. And my daughter runs up to the screen and is like, all right, so which one do you want to watch? She's like, that one. She's pointing to the animated one that she's seen before, the classic, the one that she's most familiar with. Kids are not interested in these live action things. I think the live action movies are more so or less, they're there for more or less, I would say my generation, like millennials and whatnot, where, we grew up watching these movies and now they are part of our culture, and we want to almost like relive the excitement and the imagination that was the Little Mermaid. And therefore, like, we see it in a new way it's being presented, which is live action. Like, I remember everybody got excited about the live action Lion King, because I think that was the first one that they tried to do as a live action movie, and it sucked. And then they did like Lady and the Tramp. Garbage. I mean, even the story of Lady and the Tramp is garbage too. Like, just so you know, Disney, Lady and the Tramp, not a good story. It's pretty dull. They did like Cruella, and like, I think they did the 101 Dalmatians as a live action, or maybe that just was Cruella. I'm not 100%. I didn't see those ones. I don't like watching the live action ones, honestly. The only one I came closest to watching the whole thing for was The Lion King, and then the second one would have been like Aladdin. I came really close to watching the whole thing. But the thing is, I started watching the live action Aladdin, and when I started watching it, I knew right from the very beginning, like, okay, so this is like after the movie's done and he's telling the story. This is just the genie telling the story of Aladdin. And my wife's like, how do you know that already? I'm like, I don't know. I just can see right through this writing right off the bat. This is like exactly like what it looks like and like what's going to happen, because that's Will Smith and he's the genie in the movie. So obviously he's human now. Like, so it just, to me, the whole thing just kind of, it's not entertaining. It's sloppy writing. And honestly, this brings me back to my first point of the fact that it's lazy writing that has gotten us to this point that isn't filling the void of these characters that young girls want to see. They want to see themselves portrayed in these characters on the screen, even though like we feel like, do they really care? Do they really care? Anything like that? Well, I can honestly say, after watching like reaction videos of like young black girls seeing the Little Mermaid portrayed as a black girl, they were excited about it. Now, whether or not they were coached by their parents, that's a whole other topic, another thing to discuss. All I can tell you is the fact that those girls were actually really excited to see that someone of their own race being portrayed on the screen. Okay. You'd be a monster to want to take that away from them, as I said before. But let me move forward from this one a little bit. What do we have here as well? We got Trevor. The India rips off just another everything and nobody gets upset. Okay. And then was it? They either get Black Ariel or reparations. Also my favorite Norwegian death metal band. Wow. Great comments, guys. Great comments. All right, let me pull up another one. So I wanted to touch on this one a little bit too. So they just started announcing this one recently, where there is going to be a live action Snow White. Now, chances are, who knows what the races and like genders and the mixes of the actual dwarves are going to be. That's going to be something interesting for all of us to kind of learn about, especially when Snow White's living with all of them. But the fact is that like Snow White, that's like a German like fairy tale or German folk tale or whatever you want to call it. And, being that it's German, obviously like Snow White, like, she's white. She's, her skin's is white. It's snow, it's like the whole thing. You can't avoid it. Like, as much as you want to try to avoid being like bringing race into the whole thing, it's like, no, you can't with Snow White a little bit. That's kind of tough because her hair is jet black. So what's white about her? Yeah, it's her skin. Okay. All right. Well, let's not focus too much on that, but let's look at who they have casted for Snow White. And let's first pull up. Yeah, let's go right to this here. So, oh man, this image is massive. Let me shrink that up. bring that over there. I'm sorry for the delay on this, guys. I am clicking like a fiend right now, going from all these different windows. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Okay, so they got this girl. Her name is Rachel Zegler, and she is actually Colombian. And, you know, she's very fair-skinned. So, like, honestly, I think it's a fine casting move. It's not like anything that's like that outrageous, like, oh my god, she's not like Wesley Snipes black or nothing like that, trying to play Snow White, which again, you know, in the woke culture, that would probably get by just fine. Like, what, is that an issue? Is that a problem? You have a problem with a black Snow White? Are you a racist? No, I'm saying that the character already exists. If you're trying to redefine or recreate the character into this other race and realm and saying that they're not from Germany or this and that, like, you know, you're starting to push these boundaries and starting to really try to distort essentially what the original movie was and what it represented. Oh my god. All right, so here we go. What do we got here? Looking forward to the live action Ren and Stimpy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because, you know, well, live action Ren and Stimpy would totally be accepted by the LGBT community for the fact that it's like very, very gay. Like Ren and Stimpy is all about like homosexual jokes the entire time. Like it's just, you have to go back and rewatch some of that stuff. There's so much in that. Let's keep going with this. It's going to be a Mexican girl as Snow White. I'm not kidding. Yeah, no, she's Colombian. She's Colombian. So, yeah, I mean, South American at least, Ian. Let's be a Snow Blanca. See, yes. Snow White Devil. And you know what's going to be funny about the entire thing too is that, like, yeah, they are recasting these roles, but they are not going to end up recasting the villain. And that's one of the parts I wanted to get to coming up real soon with this thing. But again, all right, so I don't want to like completely shit all over Disney when it comes to this stuff, but I'm bringing all these things up to kind of show the hypocrisy in what they're doing. Now, you can also bring up, I'm bringing up another one right now where they actually did it right. I think they did a fantastic job with this one. And here we go. So here we go. Here's Encanto. So with Encanto, actually, let me make that a little bit bigger. Go this way. Whoop. So with Encanto, guys, like this is an actual animated movie. Obviously, you know that, but it's based in Colombia. It's a Colombian, like, you know, like a I don't know, tale or whatever, that like a folklore or whatever you want to call it. But it's based in Colombia. Then they did a great job kind of capturing the culture and like the artwork and like the architecture and stuff like that. So again, like they can do these things. They can create new art that does a good job depicting other cultures and has like mixed like races in there as well. Because I mean, like in Colombia, there are black people, there are like Hispanic people, there are people who basically look white. It is a melting pot of different types of Hispanics that live in Colombia. So again, they did it right here. But like, you know, you have somebody from Colombia who's going to play Snow White now. So then you have like a whole other thing when it comes to that as well, where it's like, all right, does it really fit the role? Is she going to like really be able to portray the character? Honestly, I think she's fair-skinned enough, and the fact that they're going to probably plaster her with so much makeup that, yeah, it's not going to make any kind of a difference. It's going to be totally fine. Another one where they did it right. Let's pull this one up. Another one where they did it right. How about Moana, guys? I know I love Moana. Moana, make way, Moana, Montaloo. You know, I could go on, or what can I say except you're welcome, Disney. I'm giving you a little plug right here, where literally Moana is all about like Eastern Islanders and like Hawaiian kind of culture and whatnot. And it's just like, I guess even like kind of like Polynesian even too, but it's just interesting. It's a great movie, and it's got all like the island kind of lore to it. And I don't know, this is again like not a white character, and it's a newer animated, you know, movie. So therefore, they are totally capable of creating these roles that fit into getting young girls to be able to see themselves on the screen as like princesses or the hero or whatever it is that they're missing. You know, like they can do that. they are choosing not to when it comes to these live action movies. They are taking existing roles and they are redefining them and then putting them into these, like, obviously, like, this doesn't belong. This isn't the way the story was. This isn't what Ariel looks like, as like the most basic way to describe it. But yeah, so we can keep going from that. But that was like my little things where I was like, hey, they did this right. Now we get to do some more stuff where they did it wrong. What's this now? So Movies America. Here we go. Those groomers actually would like you to shit on them. Yeah, Disney executives probably would pay me to shit on them versus don't give me compliments, shit on me. That's going to be a little plug there, or going to be a drop. Shit on me. Makes sense for her to be South American, living with 7 other men in the same house. Hi-oh! Oh yeah, and then there's and Moana was dead the whole time. Yeah, that's a little story that you guys don't know. That, like, you know, if you really read into the whole thing, Moana never actually got the heart of Tahiti back to the island. She just died when the water came crashing down on her, and Taka ended up killing her. So, you know, but, like, you know, in her mind, she finished the whole story, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this, like, imaginary finishing story. Moana was dead the entire time. It's to piss off white people. That's all Disney's trying to do now. It's like, hey, how can we stir the pot and get more people to tune into our movies at this point? Hey, I know what we can do. We can just switch all the roles and make white people extremely furious, except for the woke ones. The woke ones are going to pander and be like, this is great. Thank you for doing this. It was about time. We needed more black mermaids. More black mermaids. And then the last one was from Jen. Oh, nice. Also, the way to spoil Moana. Well, you know what? I'm not saying not to go and watch it. I'm saying it's a good movie, but, you know, she was dead the whole time. Okay, now we can continue to shit on Disney because, according to Van from Movies America, that's what they like. They like it when we shit all over them. So why don't we? Without looking at the top of my screen, guys, do we know which movie this girl's from? Obviously, because I wrote the name of the JPEG or whatever as Pinocchio. This is the Pinocchio godmother that shows up, the fairy godmother. She shows up and she grants Pinocchio the gift of life, and then eventually turns Pinocchio, spoiler alert, into a real boy. And now they actually did make a live action one of these as well. But I wanted you to take a second to take this all in. Take in her Aryan features of blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, bright red lipstick, and you're saying it's going to get us copyright struck. I'm sorry. I will not sing any more Disney songs. No Disney songs, and if me just making up songs as I go along gets us a copyright strike, then I better be getting some royalties for that. That's for sure. Let's see here. So yeah, now that you've taken in the Aryan pride of Pinocchio's original fairy godmother, let's go to the live action one. Let's see what this one looks like, because I think this is the one that everyone's going to be like, oh wow, yeah, this makes total sense. Yeah, you know what? Oh, where'd she go? Come back. Yeah, that is what we're looking at when it comes to the new fairy godmother in the new live action Pinocchio. Kind of looks like Beetlejuice with a whole shit ton of crystal earrings, or maybe that's crystal meth, like, attached to the earlobes. I don't fucking know, but, like, it looks like jellyfish like things, like waving. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? If you saw the movie Life, that creature, I forget what they called it, Calvin or whatever. Like, the wings look like Calvin's little, like, tentacles as when it's like a little baby or whatever. So, like, maybe that's too nerdy of a comment for you guys to know. But I know Trevor probably knows what I'm talking about, because me and him have watched Life many of times. But anyway, so this is what we're dealing with when it comes to, like, role replacement now. So it's like, was this really necessary? This is a super extreme change. Like, we're talking about, like, going from, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes to no hair, probably, I think, black eyes, kind of looks like messed up teeth or whatever like that. I don't know what the deal is with this, but this to me feels like affirmative action. Yeah, you're right, Ian. Yeah, we are looking at almost like a RuPaul kind of scenario here. This is like RuPaul and his drag race competition. Like, the next winner gets to be in my next movie, everybody. And so this is not a good look for Disney at all, especially with Tom Hanks is Geppetto in the new Pinocchio as well, and I can't imagine, like, I mean, he must be like super woke as well, or maybe didn't see the cutting room floor when they're like, hey, we gotta figure out what we're doing to make this movie more woke. You know what we can do? Let's just swap out the fairy godmother. We had this blonde in here before, but let me tell you, it just wasn't cutting it. It just doesn't really fit the mood of woke anymore. We need to have someone from Wakanda, and like, we need to have her up here with her magic stick up here. And it's just not, to me, it's not the fairy godmother we wanted at all. But this is the one that Disney thought that we needed. So, disgusting to me. Like, I don't like it. I don't like any of this type of stuff. And like, I hate the fact that, like, it disgusts me, because it's like, we're talking about fictional characters. We should be able to kind of like swap things out, or like, it doesn't have to be like a set image necessarily. But like, when you're really switching things around to be like drastically woke, to me, like, you're pandering to a woke crowd. You're no longer trying to reinvent the art. Like, so let's go down this wormhole just a little bit of like, all right, so they're going to go ahead and they're going to recast like a movie or a story or anything like that, like an old cartoon, and they're going to turn it into this new thing, just kind of like what they are doing with, like, replacing like a white character with a black person. Okay, they're going to do that. But like, do we want to go to an extreme, or do we want to like baby step into that? Maybe people aren't ready to see the bald black fairy godmother that, and it is a female too, because like, when you hear her talking, like the trailer and stuff like that, I'm not going to be playing the video, but when you hear them talk in the trailer, it is a female voice and stuff like that. It's just very strange to me that, like, that's the route that they went for the fairy godmother compared to the original. Ooh, that was weird. Okay. But like, then we go to another example of fairy godmothers. And so let's go to the next one, which is, and maybe you guys will be able to tell me which one this is. From Cinderella, fairy god Medea. Fairy god Medea. Nicely done. Man, movies, you are so on point with this stuff. Too quick for me, buddy. But yeah, so obviously this is the fairy godmother from Cinderella. Turns the pumpkin into the carriage, turns a bunch of mice into horses, and so on and so forth. Turns her rags into this like magical like dress, and then she's got glass slippers. But for some reason, everything else turns back into whatever it was, except for the glass slipper that, like, she lost at the party. Why wouldn't that just turn back to like nothing as well? Honestly, Cinderella did not deserve to find the prince, because she didn't do anything. She left the party early. She was a total party pooper. And like, to me, like, this, I don't know, this fairy godmother kind of ruined the whole opportunity for her to actually have like a future. It's like, listen, I'm going to make this work till sunrise. That way you can have your fun, get to know them, hang out for a bit, and then you got to bounce, because, when that sun's coming up, everything's going to change. She gave her to midnight. Most parties don't get going until like around like 11:30, and then things start to happen. So like, let's say she had like an hour. She had a full hour at the party. That's not enough time. She had no time to get to know the guy. He just saw her and was like, that's the girl I want to bring back to my place. And then all of a sudden, I gotta go. And then honestly, he probably just could have moved on, and that could have been the end of it. Oh, well, whatever. Now moving on. There's plenty of other women who want to marry me here at my own party. Let's see here. Hallelujah. And then, can they have a fat mouse anymore. That's fat phobic. You're probably right. It probably would be considered fat phobic to have a fat mouse, but you know what? It's a mouse and not a person. So they would probably find a way around that. But the reason I bring up this fairy godmother is because there was a live action movie that came out maybe, I don't know, a few years ago. And this was the fairy godmother that they used for Cinderella. And it's quite different. Quite different. Yeah. I don't think this really checks the boxes that fairy godmother comes off as. This is fairy god queen. And this is just like a sassy black man with his magic wand. Girl, you better get back before midnight. Otherwise, I'm going to turn your shit into pumpkins. And like, of course, he's wearing orange too. You know, just, I'm thinking about pumpkins now in autumn, and, you know, he's all bedazzled out with gold. And, you know, what's funny about this as well is when I was, trying to research this a little bit, it just turned out that, oh no, he didn't. Oh yes, he did. Movies. Oh yes, he did. Yeah, but like, was it also, they already made a knockoff of Cinderella. It's called Sneakerella. Was it Sneakerella? It's a teenage dude as the main character. I did not know about that. Sneakerella. I did not know that. Oh my God. And I bet you that flopped terribly. Having a teenage dude as the main character for Cinderella, like that couldn't have done well. And it's just, it's too drastic of a change. And honestly, it's not about guys, because like there's lots of things out there for guys. Like Cinderella is really for girls, like girls that want to like get dolled up and be like the princess and like the belle of the ball, even though it's not a thing. Whatever. Eureka lace. Your Kellis? Okay, whatever. Look it up. I will look it up. All right, I will look it up. I will. Guys, calm down. Everybody just calm down for a second. But I was trying to say that when I was researching this, nowhere did they ever state that the fairy godmother or fairy godparent, whatever it was a guy. They always said it was genderless, the genderless fairy. So like they didn't want to even acknowledge that they swapped like a female role for a guy, like, especially like even one that fit into the LGBT. Oh, Urkel and here we go. Oh, guys, be nice. Liberace and Urkel. Yeah, okay, you're right. Got it. Doofus. Yeah. See, you guys are pretty mean to me when I'm doing my solo show here. And you know what? I'll just end this stream right now. I'll end it right now. You guys have been mean to me the whole time. And I'm not on my period. Oh, I swear. Now it's fairy god queen. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. But like they didn't mention gender at all in the races or in the articles. They just they said that it was a genderless queen. That was genderless fairy god parent. And that was like going to be like the way they interpreted the story, which again was just an excuse to really like try and like push the gender roles a little bit further. Yeah, get out of the sea. I know. Trevor thinks I can't handle doing the live streams. I've done the live streams like this before, just not on StreamYard. This is a little different. I have to like figure out a better system for getting my images up here, because normally I would just do this through OBS. I would just go boop, 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 switch all my images real quick and easy. But that's okay. We got a couple more things I wanted to bring up here as well. Now, we've talked about Cinderella, we talked about Pinocchio, we talked about the good things that they did, we talked about Snow White, and whether or not it's racist to swap the roles for like the Princess and the Frog. And also, I didn't even think about this one until like before I did like the live stream. What about Aladdin? Aladdin is like Middle Eastern, you know, so like therefore it's like, you know, Jasmine, you know, like there we have like could be like Saudi Arabian princess like that. So like, again, like we have representation of all these different, you know, ethnics, and also Mulan obviously for the I think that's Japanese culture, or is Chinese. I'm not sure if it's Japanese or Chinese, but still, nonetheless, like there's lots of different people being represented already. And, you know, it's about creating good art. They don't want to create new good art anymore. They just want to find good art that already exists and try to rehash it and make it more woke. It's not, that doesn't make things better. That just makes it more PC. And in today's culture, that's not necessarily good, because now you're alienating half the people who are watching this. So again, like, if we're going to talk about all these things about, like, you know, gender, or not gender, but like races being authentic to shows and this and that, what about the one musical that got like a ton of freaking awards, maybe like all of the fucking awards, and is not accurate at all? It's not accurately casted or portrayed at all, but everyone still loves it nonetheless. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know I'm talking about Hamilton. Hamilton is a musical about our founding fathers, and they're all portrayed by Black or Hispanic players. And the thing is, like, or actors and like singers and stuff, like, yeah, you already knew movies. You knew I was going right into Hamilton. Yeah, like, and the thing is, like, so with Hamilton, like. Listen, everybody loves Hamilton for the most part. I didn't really care for it, just because I think it was kind of stupid the way it was being portrayed. The songs, there was a few decent songs in there, and that's just like kind of like me being like the musician and like the artist kind of looking at it like, yeah, it was okay or whatever. But like, honestly, if we're looking for authenticity in what we're doing, and if we're okay with like just like races being reversed and this and that, this obviously isn't a problem for like white people. White people didn't give two fucks about this. Why do you think they give two fucks about The Little Mermaid? The Little Mermaid is because it was already created. It was something that was already established and is now being portrayed differently than what it was originally. And that's the problem, where like you can do something like this, even though not everyone's going to be on board with it, it'll still end up getting great notoriety, and a lot of people are going to give you tons of awards and speak highly about it. And like, this show was super woke, and like they were like anti Donald Trump for the longest time and all that. But who's the bad guy? Like, you know, so if everybody is Black in the cast and everyone's Black and Hispanic, or at least a minority, who's the bad guy in Hamilton? Well, it's the king. Well, what race is the king? Well, he's English. So does that have to be authentic as well? I don't think it needs to be if everything else isn't authentic. Nope. According to Hamilton, it has to be authentic. They have the only white guy in the entire fucking musical is the bad guy. He's the guy that's going ahead and, you know, he's I have to take over the colonies and this and that. He's going to take back the land and whatnot. And, you know, then obviously Jefferson writes the Declaration of Independence and whatnot. It's this whole like spiel, you know, like the story of Hamilton, but, we got some comments here. Let me see here. American History X. Yeah, I don't know if that's really the direction we want to go. I think American History X had a great moral to the story, where, you know, like it was kind of showing the hypocrisy and like the problems with the Nazi culture and like the racists and how they think that their whites are the superior race and whatnot, and that's not the case at all, you know. But like, you know, then you have, you know, the movie portrayed it perfectly. And then like, you know, they had like the Black guy going and shooting the kid after he realized that he was, you know, making mistakes, you know, like the kid, it was the kid who played, what was it? What the fuck was, I forget what his name was. He played John Connor in Terminator 2. And, he like basically realized with his older brother, Edward Norton, oh wow, hey, I fucked up. I shouldn't be racist and whatever like that. And then the next day he like, you know, hands in his paper and he's like, I'm not going to be racist anymore. What's he do? He gets shot by the Black guy that he pissed off the day before. So, you know, it just kind of shows you that the race stuff is just never really going to go away. There's always going to be something there. What else we got? Movies America, Edward Furlong. Means not welcome. Yeah. Thank you, Ian, for that. That's always one of my favorite memes. What's this? Who can forget when little George de Washington crossed the Delaware? Yeah, him and his crew, you know, they crossed that Delaware and they sent all those white boys packing back to England. That's for sure. But yeah, so basically, like, my whole point with this whole slideshow essentially of like images is that like Disney has been trying to push this stuff for some time now, and you know, it's it would be one thing if these roles weren't already in existence, but they do exist, and they fill a special spot for a lot of young people and also like older people as well. Where like, for example, like I have a sister-in-law who has bright red hair, and when she was a little girl, she was like tormented for being a ginger and this and that, and like just always like made fun of for having red hair. Well, she always kind of liked the Little Mermaid, and that was like the one character she could like relate to the most because she had bright red hair as well. So that was like a thing that for her that helped her get through that. It's like, well, I'm like Ariel, you know. So like she always, as a little girl, she like, you know, she thought more like along those lines when it came to like being able to process what was going on with her and whatnot, especially with having red hair. So you know, honestly, like the role already exists. Why are you trying to redefine it to fit different people's needs? This is why we need better writers. We need new creative artwork, and we need more stories that can tell a different take on things that might fill that void for like, you know, young black girls, so that they can feel like there is somebody on screen that represents them, even if like, you know. But why aren't the parents showing them like Princess and the Frog then? Is it just not that popular of a movie? Okay, maybe you could say that it doesn't do as well as Cinderella and Ariel and all that. But then why do you need to project onto the screen so much? I feel like there's like a whole lot of back and forth that goes along with this. It's like, why do you feel like you need to see that? Like, there's been so many times, like, for example, like, you know, the black culture has their own TV network. They have BET. They have their own movie awards. They have essentially their own music awards when it comes down to it, because of like hip hop and rap and whatnot. R&B, I would say R&B, and like even if you really want to boil it down, jazz, blues music, that's all black music. Really, if you really boil down to like American music is all influenced by black music because it's all derived from blues and jazz and this and that. So like there's a lot of things out there that are, you know, primarily focused on African Americans. So then why is this like the hill everybody wants to die on over like a black mermaid or not? Like, just, I don't know. This is stupid. This is a really dumb thing for everybody to be all bent out of shape about. I honestly think that, like, you know, this is something where, like, do we need a black mermaid? No, we didn't need a black mermaid. They created one. Okay. And like I said before, there's girls that are happy about it. Okay, great. Good for you. Like, I'm glad that like they're happy about that stuff. But Disney should be doing better to create more things that fill these voids, even though there are other things. Like, maybe they need different role models. Like, this is kind of what I was getting at when it comes to like this, like the music element of things. It's like there's so much history and there's so much like culture in like the black culture and the black community that like maybe they're not being educated enough on, like, you know, what some of these people did or who they were and what they accomplished, like Ella Fitzgerald or anything like that, or like Miles Davis. You know, like just thinking about like Ron Carter, Horace Silver, I believe, as well. Like, you know, so like again, like we're talking about, you know, just people who create or I'm trying to think of even more, you know, musicians and whatnot. But there's so many people that you be able to go back and like listen to and like, you know, learn about. And, you know, to me, it's like, do we need to do this? Do we need to like take something that already exists and reinvent it? I think you're pushing the envelope in the wrong direction. Then, all right. So let's see here. Let's go back here. What we got? We got a lot of comments here. Edward Scissorhands. That was Johnny Depp. I don't know where you're getting at with that. This is probably old comments that I'm reading now. Disney's usually good with filling holes in young people. That's the wrong way to look at this, Ian. But I understand where you're coming from. We need less white people doing YouTube live streams and make room for poor, unfortunate minorities. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give up my live stream so that way a poor young person can go and take it over. And then I leave for what? I go woke? I'm not going woke on this thing. This is not me going woke. This is me acknowledging the fact that there is a lot of shit out there that isn't being acknowledged. Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking difficult, man. Like, I can just tell you this right now, that, like, we don't need a black mermaid. We don't. It already exists. So we already have the Little Mermaid. It's ginger. And, you know, like I said before, young redheaded girls, they need that role model as well. So why are we taking that away from them? You're taking away a ginger role model now. You're taking that away so you can have another black role model. Not necessary. Okay. He needed your balance. Yeah, maybe that's true. Let's see. Trying to still. No, Jesus Christ, guys. I did not go that fucking woke. Yes, Trevor, in movies. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You fucking assholes. I swear to God. All right, wait. No, I need to go to my video drops.
How dare you?
And this is me.
I don't.
You can all go fuck yourselves. Like, I'm just putting it out there. Like, I am not pandering by any means. I showed the fact that, you know, if we were to swap the roles of the Princess and the Frog, that would be considered highly racist and unacceptable behavior. But why is it okay to do it to white roles? If we do it to a black role, why can't, like, you know, if they do it to white roles, why can't you do it to black roles? That would be fair and equal, but it's not. Drink some more cranberry juice. Here's some cranberry juice. So that was only one black and two whites in those videos. Racist. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I guess with that, guys, since I'm just obviously a woke piece of shit now, and obviously after everything I've shown, going through with all the fairy godparents and the fact that Hamilton still wants to have the white guy be the bad guy, no matter it's an all black and minority cast except for the bad guy. And you know, I bet you when they do like I didn't even bring this up. I didn't even fucking bring this up. I shared this on the Twitter feed earlier for the Whiskey Capitalist. The fact that was it The Wizard of Oz is doing an LGBT, it's going to have more LGBTQ influences in the remake. They're remaking the original Wizard of Oz and they're going to make it gay. Now I'm wondering, like, what is the point behind that? Then what are they going to do? There's been all kinds of theories going around in the thread. You have to go and read the thread. I might be able to pull some of it up right now, but I don't know if it's going to work. I might be killing my speed here with all this stuff here, but let's go to my Twitter space. We go to the Whiskey Capitalist, and then we go there. Oh, there's me, and then there we are. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Can't handle being basic criticism. Definitely a racist. Yeah, I must be a fucking racist. You're right. All right, here's Twitter. We're back onto Twitter now. So again, here's the actual image here, where they said the upcoming remake of The Wizard of Oz will be more diverse and have some of the previous adaptations. Previously, it had been reported a blackish character, Kenya Barris, was on board to write and direct and take on a new take of The Wizard of Oz from Warner Brothers. And they say in the headline, The Wizard of Oz remake director says, new film will include LGBTQ representation. So my guess with this would be that either they're going to have two uncles instead of an uncle in Kansas. That's my guess. That's my first guess. My second guess would be that the Tin Man will be bedazzled. He's going to be bedazzled. He's going to have his axe, and he's just going to be, hey guys, I'm ready to kill some monkeys. And he's going to do that. Or another one that I was told, you know, like somebody was said, like, hey, like maybe this is a theory as well, that they're going to pander to like the 0.6% and make Dorothy trans. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's very Wizard of Ozzy to have something that outlandish, right? But it's definitely going to be like the Wizard of Kink, if you ask me. It just seems like it's going to be way over the top. So, we got some comments. We got comments. You don't want to know what the witch is going to do with her broomstick in this one. Oh shit. Or maybe the flying monkeys are just, instead of like poppies that make her fall asleep, it's going to be like Rip Taylor like confetti, just like, yay, it's going to make her fall asleep. See, the Scarecrow is gonna trans because he takes it doesn't have a brain. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, I can see that. And then maybe Dorothy or Glenda, the Good Witch, scissoring. Oh my god, what? Oh, that's not gonna be rated like for everybody or PG or PG-13. That's gonna be like. I would say that would have to be X. That would have to be X-rated. There's no. I was like, could they get away with scissoring on NC-17 or rated R? I don't think so. I don't think that would work. Let's see here. The evil witch will no longer be green. Now wait, that is going to be the big clencher right there. That's because like they kind of started to do that with like the one with what's his face with the guy. Why is his name escaping me right now? I can see his face. They did a remake of him. It was like it was about the Wizard of Oz, but it was mostly about like the wizard. Frank. Oh my god, forget it. Maybe you guys will remember and you'll be able to tell me and call me a retard. That's fine. A hard R, everybody. We're just reaching in on an hour. And then Sean's been drinking. But yeah, so man, hold on. Now I just have to figure out what the hell that guy's name is, because that's really pissing me off. See, he was also why can't I remember? James Franco. Jesus Christ. Why the fuck could... Yeah, thank you, Ian. You came up with it like just like before I did. James Franco was the guy. Yeah, when they did that one, Mila Kunis was the witch, and she was normal looking at first, and then when she got really mad, when you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, she turns green then afterwards, which was just weird as well. But yeah, for sure, Edward... You're right. Okay, with that, guys, let's wrap this one up. I feel like we've been going for too long.
How about no?
But no, we do need to end. We got to end because I got to get some sleep. I got a early flight tomorrow, and then there's not going to be a live stream on Wednesday. I know you guys had so much fun watching me flounder around and try and talk to a camera for an hour doing this, but I was able to accomplish it. I think I did all right. I did pretty good. I'm closing. I got 45 seconds to reach the 1 hour mark, but I'm closing in on it right now. I'm going to read some comments while I'm doing that. No, it's for sure Edward Furlong. Is this all just going to be Edward Furlong jokes now the entire time? It's either Edward Furlong or Edward Furlong. You guys cracked me up. All right, with that, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure that you go to... Let me see if I can find these banners here, because I'm going to pull these things up. And let's see here. Banners. Yeah, let me see here. Oh, here we go. I found them, guys. I found them. Make sure you go to solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist for all of our social media links. It's got our Getter, it's got our Telegram, it's got our Rumble, YouTube's, literally everything that you would need. It's all there. And that's pretty much the main link that you need to have for going and supporting the podcast, because it's also going to bring you to our merch store, which is bit.ly/thewhiskeycapitalist merch. You can go and you can buy t-shirts, you can buy plushies, you can buy throw pillows, you can buy pint glasses, you can buy weird key grip things for your cell phone, which I don't understand what like the trend is with that, but they exist and they're a thing and we have them, so you can do that. And then for all of your other media needs, you can go to solo.to/tildeathstudios and you can go and check out all the links over there to be able to go and get all this nice media that we have here. Look below me, I have a nice little overlay, I got a nice background with like the neon glasses and all that, so we have tons and tons of stuff here, guys. So make sure you go and you visit those links and you support the podcast. Wait, we have plushies? I hope we have plushies. I want a plushie of me. Can we get those made, Ian? Can we get like plushies of me and you? Just throw them on our shelves. That'd be pretty great. I got to get some rest. All right, yeah, you take care of movies and Edward Furlong fleshlights. Yeah, we have those. Those are a thing. Edward long fur. Yeah, okay, that was funny, Trevor. And yeah, with that, guys, take care, and we will catch up with you next week. Oh, more comments. I'm gonna keep reading the comments as we go on it. Plushies are next. Awesome. Okay, video clips. Here we go. All right, and that's gonna be it. End screen.